It's been 500 days of the presidency, now in our rearview mirror, and I think it's safe to say that he's delivered on a multiple of campaign promises, including now we're seeing more records for the stock market. I'm going to tell you what's really still sizzling in the market later in the show, but the economy, it is rocking, hiring is surging, and of course, my favorite, dirty fingernail jobs, up nearly 800,000 since President Trump took office. And then there's a new Gallup poll reveals that the job market optimism is soaring. It sounds like, to me, a pretty good report card. We're here now to discuss Robert Wolf, Fox News contributor, 32 Advisors founder, former Obama economic advisor, and former CEO of UBS Americas, along with David Dietze, president and chief investment strategist for Point View Wealth Management. All right, want to ask you guys about a Trump that President Trump, try saying that 3 times quickly, a Trump tweet. Here's one of them, right? In many ways, this is the greatest economy in the history of America and the best time ever to look for a job. Also, the fake news media is desperate to distract from the economy and record-setting economic numbers, and so they keep talking about the phony Russia witch hunt. All right, Robert, your thoughts on the degree of greatness of the economy right now?
I would say there are some things going well and some things that need to be changed. I would say obviously unemployment. Can't really debate that. I would say business investment, we're at a 6-year high. So those would be what I would say on the 2 most positive. Ones where I would say in the middle, to be determined. Labor participation rate is still in the 62, 63% at the lower end. Wages still haven't really moved. And where I would not give the president high marks would be on deficit and debt. I mean, we're having an increasing deficit, rising debt. And, I've always been for pro-trade, so I would not be positive on where they are on the rhetoric with trade wars and trade.
What does that add to an overall score? A grade, rather.
I would give him a B-. Okay. And I know that's a lot higher than what you would have predicted.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the meeting I said D-. I said Robert's going to give him a B-.
Did I say B-? No, I mean, listen, I think the jury's out on a bunch of these. And I'm hoping trade is more rhetoric than policy. But if it goes that way, I'd be lower.
Although the irony, David, is that, maybe we'll get something from trade that will enhance us later on, enhance our positioning later on. And that would be unique in the sense that we know presidents are hamstrung by the notion that they've got to create instantly, right? No one ever elected a president for a 10-year plan. It's like you pull the lever and your life changes tomorrow.
I mean, that's a great point. I mean, when people ask me, well, what grade should I assign? Quite frankly, it's probably an incomplete. I think he has done a great job on unemployment and so forth, but the strategy is still unfolding on trade. If he could pull it off and, in fact, get China to open up to our products and companies, and also give better protection for some of our proprietary products, in the healthcare and in technology, that would be great. But we haven't seen that happen yet.
But having said that, though, the alternative is he would have been like every other president before him, and this issue would have come up only in diplomatic circles, but never been pushed. So what's the difference between getting the status quo or maybe getting a deal?
Well, I think everyone does agree that China has not been cooperating and not playing fair. But once we start potentially interrupting our trade with Mexico, where so much of our auto parts are made, Canada, which has been such a close ally, in Europe, now you're injecting some risk in the whole situation. I think it will work out well, but I still got to see it happen.
So I think he had an answer. I think he was way too quick on pulling out of the TPP. Because at the end of the day, the best way to attack and combat China is to do trade with everyone who's around China. The Trade-Pacific Partnership were 11 countries. Okay, it was north of 50% of all trade, and China wasn't included. So why wouldn't you do business with, Vietnam and the Philippines and Australia and New Zealand as the way to combat the Far East? So I think he was too quick to pull the trigger. I'm hopeful with Kudlow there that maybe we go back in.
Although it will be even harder now because after we pulled out, it became even more anti-American, if you will. I mean, there are more objections now than he had for pulling out originally. But having said that, though, there have been overtures. There's been enough overtures to think that maybe we'll get some sort of resolution. Despite the headlines, we know, to your point, you bring up Kudlow, we know that there are a lot of folks working behind the scenes. If these potential headwinds become tailwinds, what does that do for our economy?
That would be huge. I mean, there's no question that the trajectory has continued. You know, I know that you won't like this, but the Obama trajectory was one directional, and this continued. My biggest concern, though, and you and I have talked about it, is where we are with deficits. I think that's going to come back and haunt us in a rising rate environment.
Right.
The last thing we are going to want is a fiscal nervousness out there.
I mean, this is pox on both houses, David. This morning on Fox and Friends, I gave the president A- simply because, he signed a spending bill that was something that Republicans railed against for 8 years. Republicans presented it to him. And, if the government keeps spending more than they take in, no matter what party is in office, it's a road to doom. I'm not sure we're there. No one knows exactly when it happens, but we know that's the ultimate conclusion.
People have been talking about that for decades. Nevertheless, there could be a tipping point down the road where inflation does become a problem, or we have a downturn and our hands may be tied because we've already kind of done what we wanted to do in terms of tax cuts and spending, and now we have nothing left, no bullets left in the.
But are you, and I'll ask you first, Robert, are you of the thinking that one of the things we hear every time there's relatively good news, the Wall Street crowd starts to point to the immediate negatives, right? I mean, maybe just now at this point geared toward it, but think about the all-time high in consumer confidence. That goes back to 2000, right? We're not even near that. Think about some of the other real highs and participation, for instance. Millions of Americans left the job market. Isn't there a tremendous amount of potentially upside left?
I think there's incredible potential. I mean, you talk about consumer confidence, although the last quarter GDP, consumer spending was a 5-year low. Business inventory was a 6-year high. Listen, numbers come and go. What I get nervous about is in a rising rate environment with possible inflation, with a bit of a protectionist environment, the question is what is going to break this? I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous going into the summer if gas prices continue an upward trend. That being said, I listen to you a lot. I mean, you've been spot on. Companies are doing better. You can't ignore that.
Right. And later on in the show, I'm going to talk about investor confidence or lack thereof, which gives Wall Street confidence. Gentlemen, love your expertise. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.